We just got some big news about the next-gen Xbox consoles. What's up, y'all? I'm Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we get on and we talk about Xbox stuff. The latest news, rumors, games, accessories, pretty much anything I want to talk about, as long as it's about Xbox in some way. And in today's video, we're going to talk about a major shift in direction that Microsoft is taking for the next-gen Xbox consoles. We'll talk about Xbox's biggest threat to their next-gen plans, then we'll move on to a controversial update that has the fans split. Y'all are going to have to forgive me if the beginning of this video sounds a lot like the intros to some videos I've been doing recently. If you've been following me for a while, if you've watched any Xbox Ready video over the past 2 weeks, you notice that a lot of those videos I talk about the next generation of Xbox consoles. And I'm gonna do it again. But if you're joining me for the first time, if you have never seen an Xbox Ready video before, if you need a little bit of catching up, the word on the street in regards to these new Xbox consoles, and when I say word on the street, I mean the information that we're getting from these journalists that they're staking their careers on, is that next generation, there are gonna be 2 Xbox consoles that are sort of like consoles, but also like gaming PCs, a Windows 11 Xbox gaming hybrid, where you'll not only be able to play your Xbox games, but also games through other launchers like Steam. There was a major rumor regarding Steam specifically just last week. Apparently Xbox employees are testing it internally. As far as the actual consoles go, apparently one is going to be a handheld and one is going to be a traditional console like the Series X. Now, the overwhelming response whenever I talk about these new Xbox consoles is that y'all seem to be pretty hyped about the Steam Xbox thing. On the other end, it seems like y'all don't give a damn about an Xbox handheld. So if you're an Xbox handheld hater, these new rumors, these new reports that we're seeing, it could be good news for you. So just to do a little bit of a recap with how we got here, from the time I'm filming this video, about 7 hours before I started filming this video, this YouTuber called Dave2D posted this video about the Lenovo Legion Go S, which is like a Legion Go, except it runs SteamOS natively. And y'all, seeing where this all ended up, I don't think it's an exaggeration that this video changed the entire course of Xbox's game plan for its own handheld. Because in this video, Dave is like, yeah, I got 2 of these things. One is running Windows, the other SteamOS. It's the same exact hardware, but when I play on SteamOS, games are performing better, sometimes by as much as 5 to 10% better. SteamOS on this thing is so good that it even beats the Steam Deck's performance. And if you want to take it a step further, if you want to do it docked and you want to say F your battery life, you can get even more out of it. So you have a situation where these games that are literally made to be played on Windows are performing worse than their direct competitor, SteamOS, Linux. Battery life on the Legion Go S was way better, sometimes by as much as double, running the same specs and settings. And then what do you know, just 5 hours after this video drops, Windows Central drops its own article with an exclusive scoop saying that Xbox handheld has been sidelined for now as Microsoft doubles down on Windows 11 PC gaming handheld optimization. Oof. Jez Corden says Microsoft still wants to build its own Xbox handheld in the future, but Microsoft has decided to prioritize its teams to improve Windows 11 gaming performance, specifically for devices like the Asus partner device Project Kennen. Our sources have indicated to us that Microsoft is still deeply investing in developing its own Xbox gaming handheld technology in the future, but it was announced internally today that the priorities are moving more deeply towards third-party OEM handhelds in the interim, like Project Kennen. This is for sure a setback if you're Xbox, because like we've talked about on the channel before, it seems that Valve with SteamOS is just eating Xbox's lunch. Xbox, the company that for the past 5 or so years has been talking a big game about, oh, we want to make every screen an Xbox, oh, we want to bring Xbox games to as many screens as possible, phones, and now that's evolved to frickin' PS5s, Nintendo Switch 2. They should have buckled down a long time ago in trying to improve the Windows gaming experience, especially on handhelds. This is a drum that my buddy Jimmy has been beating for a long time. Gaming on Windows sucks. It sucks. The Xbox PC app sucks. People used to hate it when you come on and say stuff like that. But now we're seeing real consequences, a real setback for Xbox because they didn't lock in and get this figured out. We know that they're working on it, like at GDC when they were talking about, oh yeah, we're working on trying to blend the best of Windows and Xbox into one gaming unified experience. But now they're starting to see, yeah, no, we can't just hang out and assume that people are going to play their games through Windows like they've had for years, decades, because now other options are popping up like SteamOS and they're performing better, especially in the handheld gaming space. And they don't have a lot of time to figure it out. They're already losing market share to the Steam Deck, to these other handheld manufacturers, to the Switch 2. That's going to be insanely popular. We also know that Sony is working on some sort of PlayStation handheld. So the clock is ticking. They got to figure it out. In the meantime, they can test out whatever changes that they're deciding to bring to Windows through these partner devices, like this one that they're working on with Asus. And it's entirely possible that, yes, while we know that they're investing in it, they want to make a handheld of their own, I wouldn't say it's totally off the board to just say, hey, you know what? Screw that handheld that we were developing for ourselves. Let's just license out our name to these third-party handheld makers like Asus, like Lenovo, and have them make a handheld Xbox. Jez Corden makes a very interesting claim in this article saying handhelds are the future, and Microsoft is investing to ensure it won't get left behind. Are handhelds the future? I wonder about that. Maybe because, again, like I was talking about earlier in my own experience, it seems like y'all don't give a damn about handhelds. And when I'm out in the wild, I don't see a lot of them. I'm not seeing people like on the bus or train or in their cars playing on a Steam Deck or an Ally or something like that. Usually, most of the time, it's a Switch. I don't know how much broad appeal that they have, and if they will ever truly dominate the market personally, just from what I see and observe. Outside of handheld gaming, it's looking like Microsoft is looking to seriously step up its Xbox cloud gaming systems. Jez reports that this new cloud gaming platform should bring its latency closer to parity with NVIDIA GeForce Now, which is good. Xbox definitely needs to try to bring cloud gaming, Xbox cloud gaming, on par with GeForce Now, which is oftentimes looked at as the peak of cloud gaming services right now. And they're slowly, like Valve, starting to creep into these sectors that Xbox and Microsoft, they're very interested in. Just a couple weeks ago, Xbox made a big deal about their app being put on LG TVs. I have an LG TV right behind me, but I can't access the Xbox app. I can access GeForce Now, though. It's not all doom and gloom just yet, though, because some other interesting tidbits lurking in this article. Apparently, the Xbox handheld was striving to be a handheld where you can play Xbox games, not the PC versions of those Xbox games, straight up Xbox games natively. And if you're an Xbox fan, that should be something that is preferable to you, especially if you've built up your library over years and years and years. Because whatever handheld Microsoft puts out, whenever they decide to do it or get around to doing it, you should have an easier time porting over your Xbox games to that device versus Lenovo or anything that Valve puts out with a Steam Deck. So there's still reason to look towards Xbox's handheld and the next-gen endeavors with optimism. I'm bringing out the big words, y'all. But yeah, this is a pretty big shift. If nothing else, this is lighting a fire under Xbox's butt to give us a better service, a better experience as fans, as customers. That's how I'm gonna look at it. What else is Xbox working on? Well, they're also rolling out testing for Xbox CoPilot on iOS and Android devices. Now, for those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, CoPilot, or the Xbox CoPilot, is supposed to be like this little AI assistant that gives you information about games and could potentially help you, like with your build and beating a boss, advancing to the next level. This is something that we've been hearing about for a while now. We've gotten to see some footage of it, and now with this first test version, apparently it's going to allow you to quickly see recent Xbox achievements, get game recommendations based on your play history, and ask for tips or guides about completing games. You'll also be able to use this Xbox CoPilot to download and install games on your console in future versions too. Now, when I was hearing about this leading up to this first test build, I was like, I don't really mind it. There are some people who are like, ugh, AI, I hate AI. And we know that Microsoft loves AI. Xbox, we know that they use AI for many things already, including the enforcement of their community guidelines. We know that Xbox and Microsoft they've partnered up with in-world AI. We haven't seen anything from that yet. And over the past couple of GDCs, all of these panels that Xbox has been hosting they've involved a lot of AI. Oh, let me teach you how to use AI, Mr. Game developer, to make your life easier. The way I was thinking about this, though, I was like, this doesn't sound like the coolest thing ever, but it's not like, it's optional. I don't need to use it. They're not forcing it onto me. But reading just this first version version, it just sounds completely lame. There's no other way to say that. It looks like a ploy, like they're trying to get at more of my data. This whole like accessing my play history and then giving me game recommendations based off of that. First of all, I feel like that's a thing that already happens. Second of all, it seems like they're just trying to give me more targeted ads. The one thing that I think would be cool about this, what we've been hearing, is that this vision aspect of CoPilot, that CoPilot will be able to watch you play the game. And if you're like, hey, CoPilot, I need help getting past this door, beating this boss, or like, hey, what can I do to increase my DPS and KD ratio? There's talk that it'll eventually be able to do that. But right now, like the examples that it used, it's like, oh yeah, tell me about Sea of Thieves. Like, why would I need this thing to tell me about Sea of Thieves? This just looks like Google with extra steps. And when you actually need help, like a guide situation, it's gonna provide you links to other websites. Again, Google with more steps. If I wanna look up the top builds for Elden Ring, Night Ring, I could just type that into Google. I don't need CoPilot for it. And the fact that it's on my phone, that's another drawback. Having it built into my console or onto my PC, much more appealing. I don't wanna have to be taken away. I'm playing the game, I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do this, let me just bring up my phone. It'd be much better if I could just have it accessible. Like if I'm playing the game on my TV or on my monitor right here, and I gotta be like, oh, pause, let me just pull up Google or like CoPilot. No, that's not cool. Like none of these features that they're talking about, it doesn't feel like they needed AI at all. But you know what? I hope the testing goes well. I hope the testing goes well and that they can actually make this into something cool and useful. But we might be waiting a while on that. And just to wrap up the video, I wanted to show off these controllers I just got. They released these for the 10th anniversary of The Witcher 3. Damn, I can't believe it's been 10 years already. They released one standard wireless gamepad and then an Elite Series 2. And my friends at Xbox were kind enough to send both of these my way just in time for my birthday. 10 years after I said, you know what, screw it, I'm treating myself, I'm downloading this game on my Xbox One. Super glad they decided to send these my way, especially because when I checked them out on the website, they were sold out like immediately. Design-wise, these two are pretty much identical, with the exception being the rubber grips on the Elite Series 2. You got Geralt's School of the Wolf medallion in the middle, you got the runes surrounding it, and over on that right handle, you have the 3 slash marks to symbolize the third game, the Wild Hunt. I didn't pick up on this when I was first reading about it, but the Elite Series, it's the Elite Series 2 core. So it doesn't come with the back paddles, the charging case, all of the different thumbsticks and the D-pad. It's just the controller, so if you want any of the stuff that you see me messing around with here, you're gonna have to buy that separately. Overall, the design of this is pretty simple. I mean, especially in comparison to other special edition controllers that they've put out, like the one they just did for Doom the Dark Ages. But for me, man, I don't know. It's not so much about the design, so much as it is about what this symbolizes, the game, the Wild Hunt, 10 years of The Witcher 3. I was enthralled by this game, man. It had me in a chokehold for years. And I remember it was one of the first games that my wife, Haley, who at the time was my girlfriend, she actually enjoyed watching me play this game. She would sit and watch, and when I wasn't playing the game, she was like, don't you want to play The Witcher 3? I want to find out what happens next. Going back to it now after the next-gen patch, there are some parts of the game, they're starting to show their age, especially having to cut to black and to a loading screen every time you get into dialogue. But what this game does so well is that it made me care about every little detail about the world. It made me care about the characters, Geralt's interpersonal relationships. It made me care about the people inhabiting this world. I remember the moment I got hooked on The Witcher 3 specifically, I was walking around and there were these group of Temerian dudes, and they're harassing this Nilfgaardian soldier that they just captured. And they were like, yeah, we're gonna kill him, we're gonna do this. And the Nilfgaardian guy was like, no, don't kill me. I deserted the army. I'm just trying to get back to my wife. Please, I want to get back to my wife so bad. And so it falls to you. And mostly in this game, the decisions come down to, do you want to be a good guy? Do you want to be a bad guy? Or do you want to be the neutral Witcher? And since I was just starting out, I was like, I'm just going to be the neutral Witcher, man. This isn't my business. I'll let them do their thing. So they end up killing him, and there's an option to loot the Nilfgaardian soldier's body. I'm thinking, oh, maybe he has some gear, maybe he has some money. I loot his body, and all he has is a letter from his wife, basically confirming his story. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see you. We're gonna run away. We're gonna do all these things. We're finally gonna be happy. We're gonna leave war behind. And I remember sitting there like, I put down the controller. I was like, damn, What have I done? I ruined this guy's life. His wife is gonna be waiting for him to come back home and she's never gonna see him again. She might not even know what happened to him at all. But like, if I decided to step in and kill all these Sumerian dudes, isn't that the same thing? Like, don't they have loved ones that they are waiting for them to come home? What this game was able to achieve and seeing it endure for this long is really special. And that decision to download it and treat myself on my birthday 10 years ago, it sent me down this path which ultimately culminated in this really cool moment back in December when I got to watch the debut trailer for The Witcher 4 live. I got to talk to the CD Projekt Red team at the Marriott after the Game Awards when they showed that trailer off. I got to gush over how, oh my gosh, I loved The Witcher 3. It made me play all the other games. It made me read all the books. I got to learn more about The Witcher 4 and what we can expect. So yeah, these controllers, The Witcher 3, I'm super glad I have them in my collection now because they mean a lot to me. As corny as that sounds, they mean a lot to me. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Help me on my journey to 200,000 subs. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.